We're gonna put together the best freaking ad you've ever seen.
Yeah, or else we'll die trying.
Oh no, my friend's dead. You know what's cool? Being your ding dong self. Yes. Party.
Commercials have the power to change the world.
Hey, buddy. Your husband's a psycho. Oh, wow.
I wouldn't jerk that guy off with Freddy Krueger's hand.
Was that a joke?
Yeah.
You've made an old lady very, very drunk.
Chrissy, you're a bad person.
Go eat pineapples, you fat head.
Shut up.
All right, now let's get down to brass tacks. Who's shitting his pants?
It's Tim's jacket.
Shut up, Stinks. Sell me this pencil.
I do. Rocket Morris Pocket Porkages. It's a little pocket for porkages.
And maybe the baby craps itself. But I feel really good about that one.
Yeah, it was like our best pitch in months, man. It was really good.
So no.
God damn it! You want to write it again? One more time?
Yeah,
One more time.
one more time. We'll do it again. One more time, and we'll come back up and do it another time after that.
Oops.
Recording in progress.
Hey, everybody. Hi, guys. Sam, Tim, thank you for joining. Everybody here in the chat, welcome to our Michigan Senate Democrats virtual fundraiser, Detroiters Reunion. In my opinion, the greatest damn virtual fundraiser that there is. I'm State Senator Mallory McMorrow. I'm so thrilled everybody who is logging in to be here tonight. A little bit of the lay of the land, why you are here, aside from, of course, seeing Sam and Tim back together. It is 13 days before Election Day, and Michigan feels like just about the epicenter of everything. It feels like everything in the political world comes down to Michigan, and there is nowhere that is more important than your state legislature. State legislators, we are the ones on the ground actually working on things like reproductive rights, gun violence, education funding, fixing the damn roads, if you're Gretchen Whitmer. And these are so often the races that are underfunded and not paid attention to. So in these last 13 days, we've got a huge opportunity in the state of Michigan, thanks to independent citizens redistricting, to flip the state Senate to Democratic control for the first time since 1984. Huge. We've just got to keep our candidates going for the next 13 days. So you being here hugely supports that effort. That is straight dollars that are going to our incredible candidates that are working all around the state to get this done. But more importantly, election season is really rough. And if you read all the headlines and watch the news every day, it can feel super depressing. And we figured with less than 2 weeks to go, everybody also deserves a break. So we are thrilled to be able to bring back together the stars of Detroiters. And I think you should leave. And I have been exchanging no shortage of memes and GIFs and jokes with people all week. Thank you, especially to our local city commissioners who are texting me about it, and everybody here. So Sam and Tim, welcome.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, this is
so where are you guys? You guys are together in person. That's amazing.
We're always together in person. Right now we're in Los Angeles.
Well,
yeah, we're
Michigan,
in the production
Michigan
office.
misses you very much.
Oh, we miss Michigan.
I'm going to start off with a really hard, soul-crushing question. Are the Lions ever going to win the Super Bowl?
I'm going to say what every Lions fan says. Yes.
Probably next year.
Yeah, next year.
Probably next year. Okay, you heard it here first.
We can still pull it out this year.
maybe this year I think might be out of the cards for us. But all right, we're gonna dive into what everybody actually wants to talk about, which is the show. So first of all, do you guys miss the show?
So much
every day. We talk about the show all the time. Like every conversation we have has at least one like bit or reference or like just memory of Detroiters.
And we're always coming up with new episodes too, even though we don't have the show anymore. We'll think of episodes and be like, that would have been
great.
Would be fun.
That'd be really fun to do. Oh, that's like a real Sam bit, or that's a real Tim thing.
Yeah.
Okay, well now we have to ask, what is one thing you didn't get a chance to do or something that got cut?
Yeah.
Trying to think of anything. Oh, like I'm sure there were some like commercials that we never got to.
They never got used.
Yeah, like did we ever do a Here Dog, Come On Dog?
We never did a Here Dog, Come On Dog, but we wanted to, but I'm trying to remember what our turn on it
I think
would
we
be.
couldn't figure out what a turn on was, yeah.
But there were so many commercials because we got Sexy Specs in there.
Yeah.
But we're trying to do Here Dog, Come On Dog, Gun and Knife Show we wanted to do.
Yeah, Bill Goodman's Gun and Knife Show.
Oh. Well, okay, so that now that you guys have lived all over the country, why is it that Metro Detroit has the best local ads in the country? Like, what is it about this place? Because you guys made a whole show about it. So what's the secret sauce?
There's a few things, I think, because like there's such a like, you know, having seen ads from everywhere in like the country, and like, you know, everybody has their local commercials, and that's why everybody in the country relates to the show, because like we're like, oh, we've got our local ad guy who does this. But in Detroit, it feels different because there's such like a heart to all of those commercials. Like none of them ever feel unrelatable and too big. So like, so there was just like such a tangible sort of love that we could like draw from, and that like stuck with us our whole lives.
There also was like, because of the auto industry, there's like, you know, there's a lot of advertising agencies in Metro Detroit because of the big three. So I do think they're like, we were able to have some very low budget ones to like Sexy Specs, like someone just said, like couldn't believe it wasn't national. Was like Sexy Spec did feel like I think I moved the first time I moved, and I was like, oh, that's not. Someone just said I thought it was national. But like, I'm like, oh, that was, but it looked like it was not a local commercial.
Yeah.
But we get sent them a lot. We like people from other like we'll always get sent from other places local commercials.
Oh, really? Yeah. It's like the thing now. People just have to send you their best local commercial.
Yeah, exactly. And worse.
Oh man. Well, it's political ad season and they are bad. So we'll talk about that at the end.
Yeah.
So, okay. How did you guys meet? And tell us a little bit about like how that journey came together into, okay, we're going to pitch this show specifically.
Yeah. So Tim and I met at Second City in Detroit. There used to be a Second City on Woodward.
Woodward and Mount Calm.
Yeah.
Hockey Town Cafe.
Yeah.
Across from Comerica Park. And I'd met Tim before this, but because I'd met you on touring when you were touring.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But I was in Tim's level A improv class when I was about 17 years old, maybe. Mm-hmm. And we became like fast friends. And then we just started to go out and like drink together. And you know, like just we
wait, do you want those beers hot when you went out?
Right, you know, piping hot beers. We burned our lips on them.
Then we did a bunch of shows. Like we became really close friends, and then we would hang out all the time, which then led us doing a ton of different shows together at like different Metro Detroit theaters and stuff at Planet Ant. A bunch of shows at Planet Ant together.
Yeah,
and then we moved to Chicago.
We both moved to Chicago at different times, but essentially the same time. And we were on two different. Second City has these touring companies, these 3 touring companies that travel all around the country, and Tim was on Red Co, I was on Green Co, but then they hired us to the main stage of Second City together, and so then we would hang out every day on the main stage and do shows 6 days a week, 8 shows a week. And all we talk about is Detroit and coming back to Detroit and bringing something home to Detroit. Like we always like, oh, we want to come back to Detroit, but we want to bring something huge. We want to like do something. We don't want to just come back. We want to come back and bring something.
It was a dream. It was like if we ever were to get to do a show together, we would want to do it in Detroit. And then
we used to talk about that when we lived in Detroit.
Yeah,
we sit on like Tim's porch or like in my house, and we just talk about like, oh, wouldn't it be great to come back to Detroit? Like with something huge dream, like it could never happen, but you know, we always want it to happen. So then Tim left Second City, went to work for SNL, and I moved to LA. And then our friend Jason was was like, you know, you guys should make a show together. Because like, first off, in Chicago, also all we talk about was Detroit, and everybody like, yeah, we get it. You're from Detroit.
Yeah, they get so annoyed.
They get so annoyed. Like, yeah, but in Detroit, this.
I remember they won the Hawks won the Stanley Cup when we lived there, and they went nuts. And Sam and I were like, oh yeah, you guys having fun? We've been through a couple of these. We know.
It's old hat for us. But then the idea was like, well, you guys should do a show together. And so we were thinking about what we should do, and we're like, of course, it has to be about Detroit. And so like that was the main idea. It was like Tim and Sam are from Detroit, and like that's, and we'll figure out what the rest of the show is from there.
And we always bonded on, television. We have all these in our lives still. We have all these traditions together that a lot of them, we just did the like stay up till 3 a.m, watch a bunch of horror movies for Halloween. So we have like these traditions that are based around TV. So then it was like we would sing the jingles to the local Detroit commercials all the time. And then so that kind of was like, oh, what if we were the people who made these? And it was also a way to
like include like our sort of professions as like writers and like so the parallel from writing sketch and writing comedy to writing ads, it's sort of like, and dealing with clients and that sort of thing is a pretty good parallel that allowed us to incorporate what we actually do with something that is like very Detroit.
Yeah.
So then how did that pitch go? Because I got to imagine it was maybe a tough sell to say, okay, we're doing this show about Detroit. It's in Detroit. We're doing ads in Detroit, especially if the people, at Comedy Central or however this process worked, weren't from here. So how did you make that case that like, no, this is worth going in hard on?
Well, I mean, the pitch was really like how hard people from Detroit go for Detroit, and how much we love Detroit, and just it was really about the love that we have like for each other, like this brotherly love that exists in between us, and then like that is like palpable in Michigan and in Detroit, and like really that was the pitch, is like these guys are in adventures here. And it wasn't really a hard pitch, because I feel truly everybody is rooting for Detroit and Michigan, and they were too.
And I also feel like people, again, like we talked about with the local commercials, people get so excited about that where they have their own. So like that's also something people, even if you're not from Michigan, you can latch onto that idea of. They something about those makes people feel like, nostalgic and warm. And I still like, look at things all the time on YouTube and stuff, old Detroit commercials, because, you start to miss it, especially with like lockdown and stuff. I really started to miss going back to Michigan so much. So I would like watch old, Channel 4 commercials.
Okay, well, I'm going to get back to the line of questions, but since you brought up the lockdown and in the spirit of good constituent services, I have to ask Tim, because we saw you in your car outside the Capitol. Did you ever get your Halloween stuff?
Well, didn't get it. I missed out.
Didn't get it. Oh my gosh! You gotta get your Halloween stuff. We're coming up. We're coming up on Halloween. We got to make sure we get you your stuff 2 years later. Man, thank you for that, by the way. That was a I can speak for all of my colleagues in the legislature. That was a moment of reprieve that we all needed. So thank you for putting that out there, because we've been through a wild few years here in our beloved state capital. Okay, so thinking about the show, totally get the sale. What I know, I can't tell you the number of people who have asked me this week, is Mort Krim coming onto this fundraiser. And I had a conversation with Jumana yesterday, who unfortunately has power outage at her house, but she was going to join too. She was so thrilled that we included the Easter egg kind of in our pitch about this event. But the fact that it was shot here too, and with so many Easter eggs, local people, why was that important to you guys to tell the story of the show?
Well, it was so important to us to like show the actual Detroit, so that there could be no sort of I think the perception and like the sort of what people want you to do when you do a show about Detroit is to make a joke of Detroit, is like, oh, show, they want it to be the punchline of every joke. And we're like, well, no, if you show the city and its beauty, like there'll be no joking. It's the most beautiful city in the world, and so we wanted to show that. We wanted to show the people of Detroit. And like most of the guest stars, a lot of the guest stars are also from, if not Detroit, at least Michigan.
Yeah,
a lot
started,
who like started there. And we were like, we can't, and we also we can't make fun of, because we're not making fun of, like, or at least we're teasing, but teasing as a sibling does. And nobody else can tease your sister but you. You know what I mean? If somebody teases your sister, then it's about a fight. But if you are, it's love at the bottom. So we couldn't do that from anywhere but in the city, and we wanted to show it.
Yeah, we also wanted to put references in there in people, like local people like Jumana and Mort and stuff, so people would feel like they would feel a connection to it from Michigan too, like, because so many people from Michigan come up to us and say like, I love the show, but I don't know how anybody else could understand it. But that felt good to us, because at least we were doing that. But luckily people did like it outside of there. Not enough for it to go more than 2 seasons, but
who do we got to talk to? I think everybody on this Zoom is certainly like ready to go. Like, do we need to sign petitions? Do we need to have protests? We're pretty good at that, so we can pull it together if you guys need it. All right. So, okay, once the show started airing, you got all these stories out, and now that you guys have been all over the country, what do you think is the biggest misconception about Detroit and about Michigan for people who aren't from here and maybe saw the show and was like, hey, that seems like a cool place that I might want to go visit?
I don't know. Yeah, this is tough.
I'd say one of the biggest misconceptions that people have is that they see the depictions of Detroit in media, and so everybody thinks it's a RoboCop Detroit, and everybody thinks it's only that, but there's not a full city there and here, and that like every person in there's a feeling like, oh, you're from Detroit, oh my god, like, yeah, there's like thick skin, but like really open hearts. I made that phrase up and I'm very proud of it.
Put it on t-shirt.
That is really
print
good.
The t-shirts.
That
I know
really
that
is
actually
good.
is really
That's
good.
really quite beautiful.
Oh, okay. Thick skin, open heart.
Yeah, get out now.
That's it.
That's it, done. And the event is done. No, okay. So this is just a good reminder. I'm going to take a quick break. Everybody who's in the chat, if you have questions, so there's the chat and there's the Q&A. Chat, I see everybody going nuts and just dropping references, which I love. If you have questions, drop them in the chat and I will make sure we get to some of your questions as well. All right. So thinking about this event, we're gonna get deep for a minute. How are you guys feeling about the state of the country and the state of Michigan, and why was it important to show up for this tonight?
Well, it's a really challenging time in our country's will be history. and present. And in Michigan, especially, we have a chance to really do something here, and to be a part of that was really important to us, to do whatever we could to help. There's a legitimate chance to turn Michigan blue, and anything we can do to help that, was important to us. With just everything that happens on the national stage and locally in Michigan, it's a frightening time, but also like in that sort of fear, there has to be some sort of like hope and chance to like do something about it. And there is.
Yeah.
So that's what we wanted to do.
What would you say to people? Because, I get this question all the time. People who are like, politics is just so gross. Like, I don't want to get involved. I don't want to talk about it. I just kind of want to sit on the sidelines and wait it out. Obviously, you guys are here. So that tells me that you're stepping up, you're doing what you can. So what would you say to somebody who is just like, I don't know about this. I don't want to rock the boat. I don't want to piss off my uncle. I don't want to, have a hard conversation with my kid's friend's dad.
Right. Well, I mean, just like in any sort of endeavor, politics is no different. Like, if you don't make your voice heard, then your voice isn't. If you don't speak, your voice isn't heard. So you can sit on the sidelines, but then whatever result happens, it's up to fate. And if you have a chance to do something to change that, it's up to you. And unless you don't care about the world, unless you don't care about what happens in the world, then sure, sit out. But if you really do, if you are a person who will sit by and be like, I can't believe this is happening, then do something about it. Donate money, find your candidates, support them, and talk to your friends, talk to your family. It's up to you. You are on the inside of your family. More than any commercial or more than any movie or more than any person that they don't know, talk to them hearing from you is a real line of communication. Even if it doesn't seem like it, that's the clearest way anybody's ever going to hear anything.
Yeah. And getting in a fight with your kid's friend's dad is actually really fun. It can be really fun to do.
Yeah.
It doesn't even have to be about politics. It's just fun.
What's the top tip for getting in a fight with your kid's friend's dad?
Don't listen when they talk.
Yeah, exactly. And just talk over them like just 1 second.
Always talk over 1 second. Yeah. Makes them really mad.
Yeah.
Perfect. I just picture all those videos of like kids' t-ball games where like the dads are just going at it in the background and the kids aren't even paying attention to the game. All right, jumping into some of these questions, bear with me while I scroll through them. Okay, this one's a good one. This is a sneak preview. Who's going to be the 2023 baby of the year?
Oh, wow.
You're asking for if I knew that'd make the whole thing would be a sham.
Yeah. It goes for a long time.
It goes for a long time.
Yeah.
We're talking about
Is there still time for potential babies to put in their application to be baby of the year? Or is it already going?
They can put applications come in like during the show.
It's poorly run. It's
very poorly run.
Really poorly run.
Like just about as well run as
actually
we're doing with this live stream. All right, well, stay tuned, everybody, for 2023 Baby of the Year. But I'm going to put in a plug. That's why it's so important to vote this year so we can save democracy, so we can get to 2023, so we can find out who the Baby of the Year is.
Yeah.
Make sure you register to vote, you get your absentee ballot, you have a plan to all those things. We're going to go and do it. Okay, next question. Who are your chumps of the week?
Oh, chumps of the week.
This week.
Man. This week, I mean, Ron DeSantis sits as my chump of the week pretty often, pretty constantly.
Constant.
He's like he's chump of the year, possibly.
Yeah, and mine is my my kid's friend's dad.
Yeah. You know why.
You know why. Coming for you, Brian. All right. All right, let's see what else we got. Okay, this is a real insidery politics and professional question. I'm going to read names, but some don't have names. So this is from this Bobo, who asks, "What can we do? What role can a senator play?" I feel like he's asking this question to me
That's
too.
for you.
In local economics industry, but also asking you guys. So, what would you need from your industry to be able to encourage more shows and movies to be shot here in Michigan?
Well, you know what? Like, so there used to be a Michigan filming incentive there, and Detroiters was originally picked up in that incentive. So we were going to make it in Michigan, and
it was a huge reason they said yes to us shooting, because we refused to do the show if it wasn't shot in Michigan, and
so they said yes, we could film it in Detroit, and we filmed the pilot, and then the incentive ended after we filmed the pilot between between filming the show and filming the pilot. So with, like, the city of Detroit helped us a lot with making the show. But I feel making it known that the arts are an important part of culture, and filming things there help. And there's an entire industry that had to move away from Michigan when the incentives ended. And a lot of people would have a clear chance to move back home and work at home.
And we see that all the time with people who worked on the show, you know, shooting things in Atlanta and stuff. It's people who had to, who we knew, who worked in the industry, who had to leave. And most of them, all of them, are wanting to be able to live back in Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
But that's, you know, it's hard to make a living in this industry there currently.
All right, next question is from Evan. Evan asks, "Tim, what was your transition like from SNL to Detroiters?"
Well, it wasn't, it was, I was ready to leave SNL at that time, because I was there for 4 years, I believe. But so at that, it was really to get to leave to do a show with my best friend and Zach Cannon, who I do I think you should leave with as well. It was really good, and I felt really. I also left SNL at a really healthy time for myself. If I would have left earlier on, when I was like feeling the struggles of there, I think I would have been unhappy. But I left at just the perfect time, where I had kind of come full circle, and I was really happy. I actually left also because I was like, it was so fun towards the end that I could have seen myself staying there, and I didn't want to stay there. Does that make sense?
No. Does make sense to me.
Well, somebody.
I gotta say, if you were still there, though, I'm pretty sure when Cecily Strong played Gretchen Whitmer on SNL, she wouldn't have been drinking a Labatt's. That was a wrong move. We make beer here. Okay. Question from Jacob. Jacob says, "I rewatched the series more than once over the past couple of years. How did you guys get the real Mort Krim to be on the show?"
Well, we are super news buffs, like we
local news
fans, and so
I met him. This was not when I met him at a Anchorman 2 premiere too, when I was still at SNL, and I was like so starstruck.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so starstruck,
because people, I don't know if everybody knows this, but Mort Krim was the inspiration for Ron Burgundy.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
he was in Philadelphia.
When he was in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
But we just love Detroit newscasters and anchor people.
Yeah.
So the idea that we would have how did
I can't remember the exact. He was in the pilot.
He's in the pilot.
But I remember we had like a call because we were nervous he was going to be like scared about what because the scripts were kind of like inappropriate, I guess. But we were nervous
because we'd written him into the pilot.
Yes.
And we were like, it'd be great to have him. And so then we had this meeting, like, we think we might get Mort to do it. And so we had this like conference call when we're all in our office, and then he was on the call, and we were like, what is he? He's like,
he was just like, there's one thing.
I got two things.
Oh yes, that's what it was. And it was I
like, number one, I won't smoke cigarettes.
Number 2, I'm not going to drink whiskey. I'll drink a soda or something, or like a soda, a tonic, a tonic in something.
In 3, I'll do it. And we were so excited.
Yeah.
Okay, how much, I got to do a follow-up on that. How much did Mort ad-lib on top of what was already written? Because his lines were
For a while.
went for it. He went for it.
I don't think there's a whole.
I don't think he really
ad-libbing.
did much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he really committed. He was.
But we would pitch him a lot of things, and he would just like nail them. It would be so funny, like him doing the Garner Weish.
Oh yeah.
The Gardner Weish. The Garner
Yeah.
Garner Weish.
Yeah.
And him, and he'll take on ISIS.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because that's what you want when you're buying a lazy boy, right? It's,
that's right.
take on ISIS.
And who does he take? He takes a shot at Guy Gordon, right?
Oh yeah, it takes a shot at Guy Gordon.
Yeah.
That's right.
Sorry, Guy, if you're watching. Guy's a good friend and a good sport. Okay, this question is from my brother-in-law, Logan. He asked, Sam, you were in Office Christmas Party with fellow Detroiter Courtney B. Vance. Was the movie set as fun to be on as it was for him to watch?
It was really fun. That was oh man, that's where I met Courtney. Was a huge fan of his, but it was. I'll tell you what's hard to do. It's a movie that's a party, and when you shoot a movie, what seems like a day, you shoot for 4 months. So we're in that same room shooting a party, which is a fake night because we're shooting nights for days, which means all the windows are blacked out. It's a set, and everybody's shooting at the same party every day for 4 months. You start to go a little crazy, but it makes a wild party.
Oh man. Man, we got a lot of questions. Okay. Howard asks, this is probably a burning question on a lot of people's minds. Will there be a Detroiters reunion movie or other season?
I mean, we always say we'd love to do more Detroiters. We would absolutely love to.
We would really, if just put it out there. If anybody wants to do it, we'll do it.
Yeah.
We're not doing it because we're saying, hey, we don't want to do that.
Yeah, we're like, why won't anybody let us make it? So the gauntlet is thrown down.
All right.
Let us
anybody
make it.
listening who can make that happen? It's out there. Okay. William asks, are you guys coming to a Detroit City Football Club game next year?
I would love to.
Yeah,
very much.
I'd love to.
I would love to. I used to play soccer in Rosedale Soccer League, and when I was like in 3rd grade. So Detroit and soccer have always been 2 personal loves of mine, and then rocker soccer also.
Oh yeah, rocker soccer.
We were all about it.
They played the Palace.
They played the Palace.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I would love to if you're inviting, we'll show up.
I think everybody is inviting you, so you are invited. Come on back. All right. Barrett asks, how do you guys decide which projects to work on together versus separately? As if you can't be apart ever.
Yeah, I know.
Usually the stuff we do together, it's stuff that we work on. We make ourselves.
Because we it's very rare. We don't want some. I think it's hard to capture like what makes us and like how our dynamic works. So usually, if somebody pitches us something like, "And this is you two," we're kind of reticent to do it because like it's very specific and detailed. And so the things that we do together are stuff that we've come up with. So we know us.
Yeah.
And the things we do separately is just to make money.
Yeah, just cash grabs.
Just cash grabs.
Complete
Always trying
cash
to make
grabs.
sweet money.
Oh man. My gosh, there's so many questions. Okay, this one I have to ask it because I have no idea. Greg asks, Sam, this has been driving us crazy. Do you sing the Whopper song on the new Burger King ads?
I've seen these. I've been tagged in it a lot. That's not me. That is not me singing.
He did it and he's ashamed.
Shut
of
up!
it. He's
Shut
ashamed
up!
of it.
Shut
He
up!
did
It's
it.
not me. It's not me. Although I do enjoy a Whopper, a delicious Whopper. Yum yum, Burger King. No, that is not.
Burger King, call up Sam. He's ready. Okay, was there ever a time on set that you laughed so hard in a scene that it was almost impossible to get it together and get it done?
I mean,
Probably been a
a
bunch.
bunch. I'm trying to think of one that was like so hard.
Yeah, I can't. I mean, there's so many. They were like, you just kind of start getting in this thing where you start laughing, and then you start laughing at how you can't stop laughing, and it becomes this like you spin
This
out a little
vicious
bit.
cycle because you're like, oh no, please, somebody stop me. And like it's and we work with the funniest people. So even when it's like not us interacting off of each other, but us like interacting with somebody else, just like watching them do this thing, like it's hard to not giggle and laugh. I'm trying to think of like one specific go.
There was a bunch of stuff in I can't remember the name of the episode. Somewhere where the car,
Dream Cruise?
no, they're building the car. Kevin Dorff.
Oh my God, yes.
I can't remember the
Donuts. That was the
yeah,
donor
when we go in
episode.
there was a bunch. It was kind of
Yeah.
I think it was one of the last episodes we rose that season. We were all kind of like, out of our heads a little bit because we were working so hard.
Uh-huh.
So the episode has a lot of wild.
It's
stuff
wild
in
stuff.
it.
Like tonally, that episode is so different than like the rest
Yeah.
of the episodes of Detroiters. Like out of 20, that one episode is like we are wild because like
And we're together a lot in that like matching, like we're like feeling the same way about what.
so we're going through the
I think
episode
that
with the
one was-
same
Yeah.
tone. Like one of my favorite bits we do in there is like when we're naming ourselves.
Oh yes. That was
Rowdy
after.
Boys,
Yeah. Yes.
So that episode has a lot of them.
Where you're eating
There
the
you go.
blood capsules.
In the blood capsules, and yeah. Oh yeah, sorry. We do this a lot.
Yeah, I know.
We sit here and like laugh about our own jokes that we wrote.
All right, this is a serious Michigan question from Chris. Is Lake Orion not that far?
It's pretty far.
It's not that far.
It's pretty.
It's not that far.
It's pretty far.
An unsettled debate. Chris, I don't think you're getting a ride home is the answer to that question. Okay, Ty is concerned about you. He says, those shirts that you're wearing are not very complicated. Are you doing okay money-wise?
Yeah. No, I guess this is bargain bin.
Yeah, he's due for a cash grab.
Yeah. I need that some of that Burger King money.
Get that Burger
There
King.
you go. Burger
Now your
King.
roll's filled.
Okay. Marcus, we're going in on Michigan questions. Grand Rapids resident here. What do you guys think about West Michigan?
I haven't spent a lot of time there.
I love the GR. I love all of Michigan.
I've never spent a lot of time there, to be honest.
It's
Yeah.
a great place to live, work, and play if you seek a pleasant peninsula.
How about that? Boom.
Look about you.
Look about you. Look about you. He's the. Oh yeah. That was,
All right. Kyle, who is a Royal Oak City commissioner, by the way, asks, what is each of your favorite I think you should leave skits?
I think maybe my favorite is Biff Whip as
Detective Crash.
Crashmore.
Yeah.
Crashmore is like my favorite. That one makes me laugh so hard.
I don't know. It changes.
Yeah.
It ages.
Also
like
the prank with the
fine wine.
we put too much on.
Oh yeah.
We did too much.
Carl
Havoc,
Havoc, yeah.
yeah.
Oh, this is a good question from Big Hank's Briefcase, which I'm impressed can ask a question. What comedy shows have you guys been watching recently?
It's a great question.
That's a great question.
Trying to think of what I've watched recently that I really like Severance. I don't know if that's
I love that. It's not a
Severance
comedy show
It's
necessarily.
really
Like,
good.
I truly love Severance.
Yeah.
And watching Lord of the Rings. Which that's got some jokes in it.
Yeah. What's the? I'm not blanking on the name. Succession. Succession's hilarious.
Succession is truly the funniest show.
Yeah, hilarious.
I'm convinced it's based off of the DeVos family, and if it's not, I would like to be proven wrong because
I
I think
mean,
that's how they work.
I think it is too. It's like it's part DeVos, part was the Murdochs. Yeah. Part Arrested
Okay, we're gonna do a couple more because we had scheduled 45 minutes and we're coming up on time already, which is amazing.
All right.
Okay. Saggy asks, sloppy steaks or chicken spaghetti?
Sloppy steaks, chicken spaghetti's for the older generation.
Yeah, sloppy steaks.
There you go. And then I'm going to ask a follow-up question from Tatum on the subject of gourmet foods. Favorite toppings on a hot dog bowl?
Same Coney stuff, just like onions, chili sauce, and mustard.
Okay.
CMO.
Let's see.
CMO.
I'm going to try to find one really good last question. My goodness. Thank you guys for all of these questions. These are so great.
Yeah.
Okay. Haven asks, have you ever caused a scene, preferably over a city councilwoman, but I'm not picky, at a Detroit landmark in real life?
No, not that I can remember, but I'll tell you what, we filmed that in the DIA and we were filming the scene. I'm here talking about like my swinging this, my swinging that. And my cousin, Amber, comes up to me because she was working as a docent at the DIA. She's like, Sam? I was like, hey, Amber. She had no idea. It was like the most embarrassing thing. Like, she's like, this is what you're doing? Like, it's for a show, I swear. There's all these cameras. This is just like... But long answer to that, short answer, no.
Good. That's probably good to have you back. Okay. Well, I'm going to ask this last one, and then we'll get to encouraging everybody to participate in democracy. Jacob asks, would you guys ever consider doing a Pure Michigan ad? You don't have to say what it is.
I'm definitely. You have to look at each other to say, yeah, definitely.
I might know some people.
I tear up, Adam.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Yay. Okay. With that, I'm going to leave you guys with the final word. What do you have to say to everybody as we head towards midterms? Sage words of advice, what people should do when they're getting existential dread scrolling Twitter late at night instead of doing that.
I'd say be as active in politics and in your community as possible. Vote, encourage others to vote. Don't be discouraged by the evil forces of evil to make you feel like your voice doesn't matter. It makes you feel like your voice won't count. It matters, and if it didn't, they wouldn't work so hard to make you feel like it didn't.
Yeah, and I would say I live here now, so please don't embarrass me, Michigan.
Yeah.
We won't. We absolutely won't. Okay, so this is my call to action to everybody because you heard the man. Michigan, not only are we not going to embarrass Tim, Michigan is going to lead the way and write a new playbook for the rest of the country. We have a huge opportunity to do that here in our state Senate, which, as I mentioned, has been under GOP control for 40 years, long time. So make sure every single person who is watching this, that you have a plan to vote. You can go to your clerk's office and vote early absentee already if you haven't, or get an absentee ballot, or show up on election day. And if you go to michigan.gov/vote, you can type in all your information, get a sample ballot, make sure you are prepared. And for anybody who's joining us not from Michigan, you can check out the Michigan Democrats website to find all kinds of volunteering opportunities. And as I mentioned, this is the fundraiser for some of the best people that I have ever met in my entire life who are running to be in your state Senate, which is too often ignored. People do not pay attention to what's happening in their state legislature. And this is really where everything is happening. I mean, we had the first protest in the country in our state capitol with heavily armed gunmen with AR-15s. And we got to defend that. We've got to show that Michigan does not stand for that. And I know the rest of the country will follow. So with that, I'm going to leave it there. Tim, Sam, thank you. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for indulging everybody's very serious questions. And we will look forward to that Pure Michigan ad. I will make some phone calls, and the next season or movie for Detroiters, you got a lot of people that got your back. So thank you, and thank everybody for joining. Have a good night.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
everyone.
Let's just stay on.
Yeah, let's just stay on. All right, we're
Yeah,
signing out.
That's not awkward. That's not awkward. Sorry, this is Mallory's husband. It's not awkward at all.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, great. You guys are awesome.
Yeah, thank you. This is real fun.
Yeah, we have 117 people still on listening.
You're
to
still
us.
on here.
Yeah,
We're just kind of hanging.
After party.
It's the after
party.
Not creepy at all. It's totally
No.
fine. Hey, Mallory, come upstairs. Your guests are still on the Zoom.
Last ones to leave the Zoom, I guarantee you.
They're not leaving.
Nobody
No.
was saying anything bad about us before we left.
Yeah, no, that people are still here. Come on, go. Like it's over. Like
Keep
the Zoom's
donating.
over.
Everybody, also, if you're here, donate.
Yeah,
Donate.
Give.
Donate.
Like if you're still here, give. Please give.
Exactly.
Mallory, they won't leave.
We won't leave.
The people gotta leave.
Yeah, they gotta go. We have a
Leave it.
baby. We gotta go. We gotta
But yeah,
go.
donate.
Yeah,
Right, we'll drop
donate.
a link.
Donate.
Okay,
Donate. All
yeah.
right. Bye,
All right, see
everybody.
Bye.
Yeah.